So this is the day that we got stuck in the park in Namibia in the really, really deep sand and waiting for Andrew. Andrew's lack of low range on his cruiser and just being super underpowered makes any kind of sand a problem. So the good news is we had proven that we could get it into low range a couple of days ago in Kasane. We just had to figure out a way to do it while we were buried in sand, and we managed to pull that off. So that's a whole story into itself. But he's in low range now and back on the track behind me. I think we're gonna go take a break in the shade by the river and look for some animals. But we are officially unstuck, which is nice. And I think anything off the track, I'm filthy too. I've been under the car in sand and a lot of Impala leave behinds, and I'm filthy, so it'd be nice to get a shower tonight, or I might just use Andrew's shower.
Well, that little dance was because we were going to a viewing spot, and well, you can tell me if it was worth all the trouble or not, because this is not the viewing spot we were trying to reach. We did not get to the viewing spot. Couldn't have been better than this.
It's 2024. That means 40 years that I've been exploring the world's most remote places in four-wheel drives, in association with Safari Drive, self-drive safaris in Africa.
Nearing Camp Kwando,
where we intend to enjoy some good food and some luxury.
Big, beautiful baobab here.
I always say it's a good idea to break up self-drive in southern Africa with some of this luxury. A change of pace. In our case, far better food. For me especially, a much more comfortable bed, getting some laundry done. But for me, change of pace.
Jeremy, what is the best part about your Landcruiser in terms of comfort, now that you are far removed in a luxury lodge?
I think the tent on that is nice. I'm sleeping really well in the tent, so I think that's probably good. And I have to say that I'm very impressed with the suspension. It's been a great ride. Because, listen, the Landcruiser has nothing to do with the guys, that they're great. The truck comes with not great seats. So the suspension has to be good to make up for the not great seat. So I really enjoy the suspension. The fridge has worked every day, continues to work, so I am absolutely over the moon about that. I've had other experiences where that wasn't the case. So the fridge setup, the electrics have been great. We've had no issues there, and I think everything you might need. In fact, we have dug out some things we didn't think we would need this trip, and because the guys at Safari Drive kind of showed us where everything was, I think I pulled out just about every piece of kit they showed us was on the truck. So tools, air, recovery gear, everything we needed in little bits and bobs are there so far. We've used the Max Tracks every night because we level our vehicles with them. We've used them for other things that you would hope you wouldn't have to, which they've also been handy for. Everything we've needed is in the kit, so is in the truck. I can't. Oh, maybe the most favorite thing: center console fridge. Possibly the best piece of kit on the entire truck.
I am, of course, not driving a Safari Drive Landcruiser. I'm driving my own, but I am making use of their service. And the distinct difference between Safari Drive and renting a car is that with Safari Drive, you're not just renting a car. I mean, Jen sat with us for how many hours going through our route, making fantastic suggestions, and actually he's our support network. So if we had an issue, had a question, he's available. You don't get that with car hire companies. And that's why I think it is outstanding solution for anybody wanting to do a self-drive from another country coming in here, because you're not just renting a car. You're getting all the other bits and pieces with it. So value-wise, it might be higher tier than most. Value is fantastic, I think. And Jeremy's happy with the vehicle, and particularly happy with our rooftop tent, because I know Jeremy has spent many nights in rooftop tents and is very picky and discerning. Then I am very happy. And you thought I didn't own one? Eh? Pretty cool, eh? There are quite a few other guests at the lodge. They're all German. I shall see how it goes. Morning. Morning.
Morning.
What I found out?
No.
I found out that all of the guests here, they're all German, and they all have the same name. They're all called Morgan. They all look at me like this when I walk past. I wonder why. Maybe because we're self-drivers. We're in a lower class because we didn't come here by shuttle bus and Cessna Caravan. Not sure.
You're getting all the wide angle. It's a nice shot of that, eh?
I am. We're going to start our activities today by taking out a boat ride to go and photograph some birds and animals.
We love birds. Any bird you can point out, we'll take a picture. Yes. Oh, nice Jacana.
It's activities like this that, if you're self-driving, it's a challenge. You can't exactly well, I suppose you could put a boat on your roof rack, but if you're only using it once or twice, well, that becomes a problem. Checking into a luxury lodge with activities, hey, it means you get this, and that's worth the lovely hot shower.
Was the jacanas together with the brake crack.
Start.
Yeah, open, build, stop.
Open build, yep.
Blocking our path are hippos. Lots and lots of angry, grumpy hippos.
That's a good context shot. Land on that log one at a time so we can take pictures. Cormorant, Kukal, Jacana, everybody needs to come land on that log. It's a beautiful log.
It's a little known fact that hippos can't swim. What they do very, very well is sink, which means when you see hippos like this, they are actually walking on the bottom.
Wow. Look at how fast they go in the water. It's unbelievable.
The speed in which they can move through the water.
It's all the things out of a nightmare. Is that everybody? Nope, they're just gonna relax. They're digesting last night's dinner.
So this morning we say farewell to Camp Kwando. We say farewell to really comfortable beds. We say farewell to lovely staff and boat rides and things. But the most thing that I regret saying goodbye to is the food. Now, camp food, generally speaking, is quite good. The standard is quite high. That's not the case here. This is a 5-star cuisine. The evening meals, both of them, have not just been good, they have been exceptional. So the staff here at Kwando, thank you so much for your hospitality. And for those 2 evening meals, man, I will talk about them, probably bore the hell out of everybody that wants to listen to me. Really, wow, they were really something. We are in Kongola, heading west to Etosha and stopping up at a surprisingly large grocery store here. We're about to get on the road again. Just to let you know, this piece here, which is about 3.5 hours, is the most boring, dull, uninteresting, dead straight road in all of the region. I hope you've got a good audio book.
Was to guide down the capture pod and secure a landing area for the remaining members of 2nd Platoon. Would be following.
I do, and I also know a guy like that.
Well, it's a long, straight, dull road, a piney bush everywhere, nothing much to do apart from do an emergency brake because a South African with a GP registration, Gauteng, of course, the people who have a pathological impatience, is overtaking another car, and he probably had to wait could have waited another 20 seconds, but no, we won't wait another 20 seconds. We will endanger the lives of everybody in our car and everybody in oncoming cars. What is the matter with you? You don't have to wait until there's oncoming traffic before you overtake somebody. Kaisosi Lodge on the Kunene River is our destination for the day. A couple of kilometers along this track. Been in the car for most of the day. It's been pleasant, if a little dull, day's drive. And we end the day with an equally dull campsite. It ticks all of the important boxes, but none of the boxes that you want to tell anybody about. But hey, just to stop over, tomorrow things actually get really interesting because we are visiting Etosha in order to take photographs of the magnificent elephants of Etosha. I have been once before, and in my mind are those magnificent, huge elephants. Right, here is a little bit of advice. If you are self-driving in Namibia, we have wasted almost 2 hours this morning trying to collect a SIM card that was sent to us. Now, the guys at Safari Drive very kindly said, okay, we'll help you out with a SIM card. On the 2 occasions that I have tried to buy a SIM card in Namibia, The queue at the SIM card place would have taken me most of the day standing in a queue to get a SIM card. So my international SIM card didn't work. Jeremy's international SIM card didn't work, or doesn't work. The other challenge we've had is that I brought US dollars. Guess what? It appears, astonishingly, that in Namibia, at a foreign exchange places, they won't accept US dollars in cash. It's an amazing thing, but we have been, both of us, been trying to get local currency and have failed. Local SIM card and have failed. And it's been the biggest single frustration of this trip so far. I don't know why Namibia is so different from other countries in the subcontinent, but it is. And then you get caught up in traffic jams like this.
It's 2 o'clock. I mean, this is what this is.
Still got to go do. That's probably 100. That's probably 100. We're talking 200, 250.
I think we should do it to the camp and just do the tar road.
Yep.
Because we're making 110 Ks basically an hour.
Yeah.
So there's two and some change, maybe 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That puts us at 5, basically 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for exciting things, but
We haven't got the time.
I don't think it's exciting. I mean, however, there is a baobab tree listed here, but I don't think a tree is worth 3 extra driving hours.
We're on the final part of our 2-day drive to Etosha National Park. Etosha is Namibia's premier game and animal spotting reserve. It really is something unique, and some of the bugs that have hit the windscreen today have only been slightly smaller than light aircraft. First night we will be camping. The second night we've actually taken a bit of a treat, actually. A chalet in one of their luxury lodges just for one night, mainly to get access to a marvellous water hole. And then our third night in Etosha will be on the western side, again camping.
Trying to find fuel.
Turn right to the shell, right.
And the main gas station in Rundu, coming into Rundu, has just said that there is no diesel left. So maybe the Shell has diesel. We're hoping the Shell has diesel. Looks promising. Maybe. Let's see what these guys tell us. This is just west of Grootfontein in Namibia, and it's the first mountains that I've seen since we've been in Africa. By mountains would be probably an overstatement, but the vegetation has changed. The hills are here, and the infrastructure makes the whole place look completely different. There's kind of standard telephone poles with power lines. The roads are lined and somewhat maintained with stripes on the sides. Obviously, very much a different set of standards for this part of the country.
Well, we're finally here. This is our campsite. Ablution blocks. This is the Ongoma Tambuti campsite. The idea of Ongoma is that it is another nature reserve abutting the giant Etosha National Park. And what that means is that you get really nice facilities, beautiful campsites, lots of choices of campsite. And if you really fancy it, you can go up and swim in the pool and even have a meal at their restaurant. But being so close to Etosha, you get to enjoy this private game reserve, and you're 3 minutes drive away from the entrance to Etosha Park itself. So our adventure at Etosha starts here.
If the landscape changing when we were driving in is any indicator, the landscape's completely changed now.
Completely.
And the country of Namibia has changed because there's fences on the roads and there's infrastructure that we haven't seen in this entire trip. Even in the Caprivi and eastern parts of Namibia above Botswana, on the Angola and Zambia border, it looks nothing like it does here. It's like a whole different country. It's almost like Namibia didn't start until you get out of the Caprivi, and then it looks like kind of this. And then we're driving, and it feels very, I don't know what I should say, they're Western, I guess. I mean, it feels like normal. You're driving down roads with telephone poles, and it's not like
it's developed.
It's developed, and then you've got proper farming, and it just looks like the places. It doesn't look like anything in the U.S., but it's all changed. And then coming into the gate of the park, and even these campsites and stuff, it's just the whole feel is different. It's developed. I guess that's the word. It's developed, which isn't sad. I don't think it's sad. I think I'm excited about it because it's developed because this is where things are at, and you don't. Unlike where we've been, though, where you just kind of drive into things and everything's already there. I mean, you're driving through animals to get to a thing. Here, I feel like you're going through everything, and then when you get there, it's almost like it's behind something. You're about to go in. It feels like you're about to go into a park, which I know we are. We're literally about to go into Etosha.
That's exactly what it is.
Which is more like what you'd be used to in the U.S., where I'm from, and it's just...
What you're saying really is it's not like Botswana.
It's not like Botswana. I guess what I'm saying is it is not like Botswana. Yeah.
Or even tonight, as we have a meal at their restaurant overlooking their waterhole. The walk from the restaurant back to our campsite is not a long one, but it is in the dark. So I'm shining a torch at myself and it's actually blinding me. I can't see anything, so if you don't mind, I'm going to actually just point it at the track here, because I'm walking back from the little restaurant there. We had a nice meal, watched some birds on the waterhole, and now I'm going to walk back to my campsite. Now, those of you who watched earlier episodes in the series would have seen a similar situation in Botswana at Etosha National Park, where I had to leave my campsite and walk to the ablution blocks in order to take a shower. And in doing so, listened to a symphony of wild animals, including elephants and lions. See a set of eyes there? See a set of eyes just blinked. It's in the grass. I don't know what it is. Small animal. More than likely jackal. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for eyes. Here in, a lovely campsite. It's not particularly busy. The campsites are not particularly close to each other. Really nicely done, if you ask me. I don't have a sense of... fear is the wrong word, because it isn't fear. It's a condition of being very aware of one's surroundings and nervous tension and a small droplet of adrenaline punctuated by a noise of a wild animal. So my campsite is 21, that's 16. I'm not hearing anything. And I might still hear something, but I know that there's a fence around all of these campsites, so I'm completely safe. I don't need to worry. So what would you prefer to do? To be honest with you, this is a bit tame. I mean, it's nice and everything, and the stars above my head, and the camera won't pick them up, but I promise you that they're there. Let's see, what number is that? 21. There you go, 21. So, well, that's the alternative. And there you go. That's the end of my little story. There's my car, glowing red. I left the light on purpose. And time for bed.